Hey guys, welcome to Ariel's new DM channel. It's D&D Saturday once again. And about a year ago, I had made a video referencing Neverwinter, which is the D&D video game or MMO, or one of the MMOs for D&D. I also did one on I was doing a whole series about MMOs that are based on D&D or fantasy type games similar to D&D, which of course we have Dungeons and Dragons Online, and we have Warcraft, World of Warcraft, um, and we have EverQuest, original EverQuest, and Neverwinter. So specific games like that, which are either influenced by uh, t- uh, by role playing games, RPGs, but are MMOs, or RPGs that are um, multiplayer, such as well, DDO is, I guess, it's a specific type of MMO, but multiplayer RPGs on and EverQuest for sure is an early version, an MMO that's definitely directly influenced by, I would say, by fantasy RPGs, especially Dungeons and Dragons. But the point is, I went ahead and I was gonna make a video about uh, sort of playing some EverQuest today because I've gone back to play the original EverQuest and I'm really enjoying the going back and revisiting that. But my video earlier on that, or any of the MMO videos, really didn't really do that well in terms of views, in terms of what people were checking out, with the exception of the one about character creation for Neverwinter. So I might do that at a later time or just stick to EverQuest. I'm not sure. You guys can let me know. I'm pretty flexible. This channel is overall about gaming, uh, particularly the games I like, which are fantasy-based RPGs and MMOs, and Dungeons and Dragons, of course, the tabletop game that started it all, or at least that continued the RPG and tabletop renaissance. Um, and today I was behind my screen once again as the noob DM, and I ran a campaign like I do every other Saturday, and it went fairly well. I would have to say that, despite the fact that I'm still pretty inexperienced about running a 5e campaign specifically. I think everybody had fun, and uh, but I afterwards I was so. I guess what I'm trying to arrive at is I still have Dungeons and Dragons in my head, in my mind, and so recently I went ahead and did something that I did not do back in August, back over the summer, about 2.5 months ago. I had sort of that's when the new starter set for fifth edition, the Dragons of what's this thing called? The Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. The Dragons of Stormwreck Isle dropped um, in Target stores late summer, and it is now, I think, in October 1st, here, at least here in the U.S., it became widespread, or like you could pick it up anywhere now. Your local hobby store. I um I picked it up finally. I deliberated back and forth whether I was going to pick this starter set or not because honestly, after checking out the components and checking out some reviews and some other YouTubers who had something to say about the set, and just looking in general, comparatively speaking, over all the other sets, it was, in my opinion, it still is, in my opinion, a pretty bad starter set if you compare it to other sets that Wizards of the Coast and even back in the TSR days they put out. So I'm gonna go on a little rant about that today. I hope that you don't mind, or maybe you'll find it interesting, or you might find it puzzling why, if I didn't really like the set, why I decided to go ahead and break down and pick it up. So I'll go over that and a few other nooks and crannies. All right, guys. So here, these are the reasons why I did not particularly like the new starter set that Wizards of the Coast just put out a couple months ago. But I still bought it. So what's the thing is, I didn't really see a value during the summer I mean, I'm a veteran at this point. I guess I'm a veteran when it comes to RPGs and Dungeons and Dragons specifically. I'm still learning how to DM games on the fifth edition on 5e or just in general. I learn so much about DMing every session that I run from my players and from just doing it, you know. But but I didn't really see any value of picking up the starter set because I already have every single other starter set dating back to like 3.5. Yeah, I think it was the 3.5 set which came with. There's a video I'll probably link it to this on the description so that you can see visually see what I'm talking about. But the 3.5 set, for example, had way more components. It came with miniatures and it came with uh, enemies, and it came with so much more than what this new starter set actually offers. And in addition to that, there was also you don't have to go as far back as 3.5. You can take a look at the starter set that came out before this one, which was it wasn't really it was they call it essentials kit, and basically it was designed. I think it was they had more uh, DMing or to give people that wanted to try their hands at DMing more than the players. So it was kind of like a sequel, but I don't know if Wizards was responding to the fact that at the time people like me or other people that have been playing the earlier versions of the game complain about how bare bones it was. Now, I will say that I have used the 2014 set, and I'm currently running the adventure with some tweaks. I tweaked it. It's not the exact as written in the module, but I am using that starter set module, and it is excellent. I mean, if you run that, you'll. I mean, this is not new information. Anybody that has run games before, there's a lot of it on YouTube. There's a lot of it online. So that one is a winner. This new one, though, I haven't really tried it, so it's not really fair for me to say whether it's a good adventure or not. I heard that it's good, but it only goes up to level 3, and which you might say, well, what's wrong with that? Level 3, you know, it does what it's supposed to do, which is get people's feet wet, and get people interested in playing the game. Um, and but you know, the sets before that went up to level 5, and so this one it gives you a lot less content. Into it's a shorter adventure. There's a page count, and actually I have both of them here, and I can tell you that the Dragons of Storm, the new one, this one here, the Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, it is um it is 3 chapters if I'm not mistaken, and it is 48 pages. You get 48 pages, and yeah, it's like um 4 chapters. I stand corrected, 4 chapters, but it also has a couple of appendix. So chapter 1 is the Dragon's Rest. Chapter 2 is, you know, the first four chapters are just the whole adventure itself, and then you get 2 appendix, which is the magic items and the the creatures that are in the adventure with their stat blocks and all that, which is not any different than when you got originally, or not that much different than when you got from the uh, starter set almost 10 years ago. But in that one, you get uh, over, I want to say is 64 pages. I believe it's 64 pages. It's over 60 pages. The reason I don't know exactly is because one of the pages detached in the back. So after all the use, but that tells you I was using it. 64-page adventure, and it is several chapters. It's broken into 3 parts and it's several chapters long. So you get more for your bang in terms of what's in the box in terms of the adventure. Now, both of them come with the core with the rule book, and the rule book are pretty similar. I read that this one is a little bit more detailed and it gives more explanation on how some of the game mechanics function. So that for unexperienced GMs, which is fine, but you don't get a whole lot more that's new, between both boxes. And then the other thing that really kind of irritates me is that you don't get any 2014 and on, you don't get any miniatures components. Um, you almost have to either buy miniatures on your own or which are expensive, and for the price they should have at least given you. I mean, there's uh the branded Stranger Things starter set. There's also that's a thing that they put out before, the Stranger Things starter set, and that one is all branded. Well, you get the characters from the TV show, but you at least get a couple of two miniatures with that set for the Demogorgon. But this one, nothing. You don't get a single thing, which is annoying, because you're paying the same amount of price. You could, Wizards of the Coast could have whatever. You don't get as much. So there's that. So why buy? What's the advantage? What's the value? Because if you're gonna spend money or you're gonna go out of your way to track down whether Target, Game Store, online, whatever, you want to get some value out of it. And I, ever since I started running the Saturday community library adventures with my group, I can see that there's a couple of things that give the set some value. Now the original set from 2014 also has these, but they followed that pattern. And what they did is you get 5 pre-generated character sheets, which are pretty good, and then they have like some recycled artwork in the back. But they're kind of tailored towards this adventure. So it's like the basic classes, the paladin. There's a first level paladin, a first level rogue, a high elf, which is your first level wizard, and you got a cleric, and you got a first level fighter, which is your wood elf. So there's a very nice mix of characters that classes, traditional or classic character classes that are included, and they're all filled out, they're pre-generated. So if I have to run a one shot and I get new players coming in, excuse me, and you just want to indoctrinate them and say, this is how you don't know the mechanics, and you want to just start into the adventure and get their feet wet. This is a great way to do it. I can just give them the character. Sure, I can make a character sheet. I don't have to buy the starter set to make a character sheet. Just print them out. But these character sheets are tailored to this specific adventure. So on the background, they did this with the original set, 2014 set, where they give you their background. For example, the Hill Dwarf is a soldier, has a soldier background, and it tells you about the background. It tells you how to make the character your own, and it tells you what hit dice you use and levels, all those good things. And so I guess you can call me lazy and say, well, yeah. So basically you're paying $20 or retail price or whatever it is for one adventure and a number of character sheets. And it comes with your standard dice, 6. They used to give you like more dice. They used to throw in the percentile, but because 5e doesn't use the percentile as much, you don't even get the percentile dice. So yeah. So in conclusion, I have the new starter set now. I kind of collect them, so I kind of figured, well, I'm gonna get it, because I'll have a new adventure. It only goes to level 3, but that's good enough, and to get them going further if they're enjoying themselves. And I don't have to when I'm in a pinch to do a one shot, I don't have to design all the one shots. I can just go off this and have one pre-made, which is the whole purpose. So yeah. It's I can't say whether the adventure is good or not. I'm gonna play it or I'm gonna run it as soon as I get a new group again with new players, and I will let you guys know how that goes. But overall, it's a pretty weak. It's comparatively speaking, it's a weak product, and it's disappointing. And a lot of people have said that before. I've said it. And yeah, but ultimately, the only value I saw was for my own personal use and having the pre-generated adventure character sheets and and having the something ready to go when I'm doing a one shot and I don't have time to really prepare one. So I have one in the bank, if you will. So, take that with a grain of salt. Everybody's mileage is different. Um, but that's my experience with this product. So if you like this type of content, I'm going to make more. Although I do have a caveat that I'm going to be moving in a couple of months. My landlord sold the property where I've been living for the last several years, so it's kind of a pain. I have to go find a new place to go next year, and so I may not be making as many frequent videos between now and the start of the new year. I'll see how it goes, how the search goes, but I do apologize in advance. And Yeah, so hopefully that won't take too much time out of my already packed schedule, so I can squeeze in some time to make some of these gaming videos. So, but again, if you like this, go ahead and hit the like button or subscribe. Or if you want to become a Patreon, I always put the link in there so that you can support the channel financially and keep playing RPGs, keep playing D&D. May the dice be with you.